Yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's
All
the
right,
goal.
let's go. It always feels like the first time.
Yeah.
It always feels like the first time. But let me just do this quick little intro and then we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Who and How Club. It's your boy Jean checking in. Episode 15. We're 15 episodes in. I can't believe it. After a couple weeks off, just taking some time to myself, doing some self-care, taking care of my mental well-being. I'm officially back, and I'm back in full effect. We are the Who and How Club. You are the Who and How Club, and I am the Who and How Club. We are the Who's and How's of the world, and I want to say welcome to this club. Shout out to everybody tuning in on the live. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear us. If you can't, let us know. Either way, you're going to get a chance to see this footage and hear this episode in many different ways, not just on live. I thought it was important for today to be on live because not only for my special guest that I have sitting across from me, but just the fact that I'm back. I got new energy in my heart and my mind, and I'm ready to express myself. And I wanted to share that with everybody listening in. So shout out to everybody on the live. Shout out to everybody who supports on Apple, Spotify, all of that jazz. You look anywhere, wherever you listen to podcasts, you could find the show. Just look up the Who and How Club and you'll find us. The website's whohowclub.com. And of course, my social is at only1eris on all socials and at Who How Club on all social media sites. Yeah, man, I just took a little break. This is the best part about working for yourself and just creating at your own pace. You could release like 3 episodes, 3 weeks in a row. And you say, you know what? I'm a bit caught up with some other things. Maybe I'm working on some music. Maybe I, got meetings here and there. I got to make some appearances. My work's getting in the way. Let me take a little break. Let me revamp. Let me revisit, see what's working, what's not, and then come back in full effect. So if you guys have anything that you're pursuing, anything you want to pursue, anything that you've been meaning to get to it. Take your time. Make sure you're ready. But when you're ready, you hit. Mm-hmm. Don't wait longer, right?
Mm-hmm. Takes time, but you got to make sure it hits when it's right.
It takes time. Mm-hmm. So I want to say welcome back to myself, because I think the past 3 weeks I lost a piece of myself, but now I'm back. So welcome back to me. Welcome back to you. Welcome back to us. Now, without further ado, I have somebody sitting across from me, a gentleman, a scholar.
So nice. Such a good guy.
A person that I've known for a little while, a long while, little while, however you want to describe it. I thought that we would come back and have him on the show. It's been a few weeks. If you guys listen to the last few episodes, I mentioned this gentleman. I said I'm going to have him on the show. He had a couple setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And
a little bit of technical difficulties, yeah.
Definitely. And I can definitely relate to that. So that's why we didn't have him on the show. But, it's better late than never. And I don't think we're late at all. I think we're exactly where we're supposed to be today. Mm-hmm. This is the day that you're supposed to be here. Mm-hmm. And this is the day we're supposed to have the conversation and everybody's tuning in and engaged. Mm-hmm. Who are you?
Who am I? So my name's Adam Zomparelli. I'm a fitness coach and a recent author with the release of my newest book, ILLITHESIUM, a sci-fi novel. I also have 2 other books on Kindle, which it's a small series, so it's called...
I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
Who are you?
You got me going already, eh? I'm an author and a fitness coach.
Who are you? I'm going to ask you that until... Mm-hmm. Who are you? That's what you do. Mm-hmm. Those are some titles that are attached to you.
Oh, I see. You're already going deeper into this
But
now.
Look at me. Who are you? Mm-hmm. If I didn't know you, how would you describe yourself to me right now? Who are you?
An ambitious animal. Recently, anyways. I think if you asked me that maybe like, I don't know, even like 6 months ago would have been a bit different, but I just... very ambitious, that's for sure. A lot of things I want to achieve, a lot of things I want to push. Not quite there yet, but slowly making my way with what I can control in front of me, pretty much.
So we know your name, Adam Z, as I promoted
Zomparelli.
you. Zomparelli.
Gotta let it roll off the tongue.
As we promoted you today on online and
Mhm.
stuff like that. We know your name is Adam,
Mm-hmm.
all of that jazz. But I wanna break the who, what, when, where, why, and even the how
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to you as a person sitting across from me at this table. I want to give the people the reasoning behind you being here today,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna delve into those little categories:
Mm-hmm.
the who, what, when, where, why, and how. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So let's start with the who. Aside from your name,
Mm-hmm.
who is Adam? When you think of yourself,
Mm-hmm. So Adam is, put it to you like this.
we know that. Sorry, not to cut you off. We know this
yeah.
is the hardest question to ever answer,
Mhm.
right? That's why.
You know what? I didn't even expect this one right up front right away. That's the funny
You're not
part.
supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we know answering who we are is one of the hardest questions
Mm-hmm.
in the world. We know that a lot of us, we define who we are by what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say our names. That's the first thing people say. Who are you? Oh, my name is Eris. Oh, yeah, I'm Adam. I'm Samantha, whoever. But who are you is such a complex.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one answer to that, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very curious to know what, being who you are,
Mm-hmm.
how do you define who you are
Mm-hmm.
when someone would ask you that? When I ask you that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
First thing that comes to my mind is a goal-setted visionary individual who's looking to go towards what he wants to achieve.
In the mic.
A goal-setted individual who has a vision on what he wants to achieve. So, like I was saying, I have, certain things I want to accomplish in my life, and whether I've talked about it with people or not, these are things that are personal to me. Like, I want to accomplish, and being a best-selling author is one of them. So every day, whenever I get a chance, I always put work towards it, basically towards writing my novel, marketing it, editing, which I do get some help from, but ambition is a big part of it. Wanting to be able to reach, for me personally, what I feel my life is about, and that's believing in my intentions and working towards those goals that I have.
Yeah, it's such a hard question to
it
answer.
Is, but you can't answer it just in one shot like that. You have to, it's like you say, you got to break it down. It's not just one thing, right? Like, it's whatever's personal to you. It's whatever you think you want to achieve in your life, or even if you even know, some people don't even understand or know what they want to do, but it comes down to your own personal growth and what you want. Like, for me, it's like I just stated, basically, like, if you had asked me this a few years ago, it probably would have been like, get in the fitness industry, become a trainer, which I did, grow in there.
But those are goals.
Those are goals.
Those are goals of yourself. If you're standing at a podium, envision yourself at a podium, right? And there are 2,000 people just standing there, strangers. You don't know them. They don't know you. They know one thing, that you're the one that's about to stand at that podium to tell them who you are. But they don't know who you are. Whatever is about to come out of your mouth, they're going to believe that when you define yourself to them.
Yeah.
So what are those words that come out of your mind, from your heart, if you were to talk to those 2,000 strangers?
So if I were to talk to those 2,000 strangers and they were there to see me, I would tell them that, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm an ambitious, hardworking person who's working towards my dreams and goals that are personal to me. And I don't care who you are, but I'm going to outwork you in order to get there, and you're not going to stand in my way, one way, shape, or form. And that comes off a little aggressive, but it's not meant that way. It's just to say that these things are so vital to me that I will do whatever I have to do in order to make sure that they are achieved, right?
Yes.
And just life in general for me is basically believing in what you think is personal to you and going after it, because we're here for a purpose. Like, personally, we've talked about this before. You're here for a reason, and you need to find out what it is. And I think I don't want to say lucky, I don't like that word, but I'm fortunate enough to basically, found what I really want to do. I'm very early in the game with it. I've only been doing it for about tops 4 years now, and I'm just breaking into getting it out there, selling it, marketing, and all that shit. But I think it's about, for me anyways, like I said, finding out who you really are as a person. And for me, it's being as driven as possible to work towards those goals, and just being ambitious and becoming, I guess at the end of the day, it's like being an animal towards it and running to it at full speed with no brakes and just trying to do what you can with what you can control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's cheers to that.
Yeah. Cheers with our, it's his juice, by the way, guys. That's good though.
Okay. So we get a feel of who you are.
Yeah.
How you look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I'm going to give you 2 answers on that.
I know what you do. But maybe you do more that I don't. But to the people that don't know you, for people who don't know you, who are tuning in for the first time, meeting you, what do you do? How would you define that?
So what I do is, like I said, I'm going to give you 2 answers. I'm going to give you like a spectral answer and like a physical answer. We're gonna go that route. So online training.
I love this guy.
And then author. But what I do is basically I put forth passion to everything that I can put my hands on, because I view everything as a creative process. So when I look at something, I see basically like pieces of something, and we're gonna get it like all spiritual, philosophical, Albert Einstein type of shit, whatever. But it's all about pushing the creative process in whatever you do. And it could be anything. Like, it doesn't have to be, it could be fucking raking the fucking grass. You know what I mean? It could be going to the gym. It could be driving your car. But I view everything in steps and how to creatively do it in the best way possible. Nothing is just very, I've, been on the verge and still doing to try and teach myself to not look at everything as just blah, or just that's the way it is. Always try and put a creative spin on it. And it's been that way ever since I started writing. I started to really view life in a different way, in more of an artistic type of way. And I find people who like sing, dance, generally all the art forms, they kind of view it this way at the same time. So whenever I try and do something, I try and just find the passion into it and just do the best perform it the best way possible and just get it done in the most efficient way possible as well. But while looking at it from a creative standpoint. And it's funny because when I bring that up, people, I've talked about it before, people, they don't understand. They're like, well, what do you mean? Like, what creative standpoint? What are you talking about? And the best way I can relate it to somebody is say, think of something that you honestly enjoy doing. Yeah. And basically feel the amount of feelings that you get when you try and do it. You're going to try and do it the best way possible. You're going to try and look at it from different angles, and only you are going to understand that, just because it resonates with you. Yes. And that's basically the way that I go about things now in general. But yeah. So
it's obviously I know you. Yeah. So it's a bit difficult to, not difficult, but it's weird, right? Yeah. I'm trying to introduce you to the world. So I want you to wrap your mind around that for a second. You're talking to me. You know me. Yeah. We know each other. I know what you do, per se. If we were, but for the layman's, we want to just break it down, keep it simple. For those who just don't know what Adam does. Is Adam a carpenter? No. Is Adam an electrician? Yeah. Is Adam a florist? You know what I'm saying? But you define it in your own way, which is good, which is what we promote here. You know what I'm saying? We have to define. It's your vision of that. So I appreciate you sharing all of that, which is good. Where do you come from?
Toronto.
I'm going to shoot this guy. I'm really going to shoot him on. You're going to be the first death on my show. Where do you come from?
What do you mean, like, expand it a bit more?
What's the first thing that comes to your mind besides Toronto?
If we're not talking about, like, people.
Where do you come from? What was your upbringing like? What world do you come from? How would you define that for the people? What was it like?
It was, if we're talking about upbringing, it was a very positive / driven type of mentality. Like, growing up, like, my parents in general are like the nicest people ever meet, but my dad always tried to instill basically hard work, perseverance, and whatever you do, just try and like be the best at it no matter what. Even if you don't like it, just basically put 100% your hard work towards it, and you'll reap the benefits of it the best way, shape, or form of what you can get. But I think in a background towards being more like spiritual, it's in regards of just being taught to have passion and just being driven and hardworking at whatever you do. And I just try and instill it into everything that I put my hands on, pretty much.
And you learned that from your father? Both of your parents or just your dad?
It was from both, but it was my dad was really the one who really tried to wrap it around me and really tried to instill it in my brain that, like, even because growing up, education was huge. There was no like, go do this, go do that. It's like, go to school, get a job, and that's it, right? That's how it was. But regardless of even that, he said, whatever you do, you always put 100% of work into it. It could be, you know, going to cut the lawn, or it could be going to get groceries for my mom, or it could be like this, or like playing soccer, like going to school, doing your homework, whatever it was. It was instilling that there's always going to be challenges, and there's always going to be things that you don't necessarily want to do, but you have to do. But whatever the case may be, the outcome always has to be you performing the best, because it's going to teach you to be stronger. It's going to teach you to be a better person. And it's just going to build your character. So that was really, really big and really put upon me growing up at the same time. And even just the
that set a foundation.
It's set a big foundation, 100% big foundation. But even growing up, even though I had that mentality, I feel like I kind of lost it along the way, because you grow up, you know, you get into high school, you start meddling with different people. It starts to kind of unravel your character a little more. And I was more of a shy person. Like this shit, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I'd be like, no, fuck you. I can't do this. I'd be way too scared, right? I'd be way too nervous. I was that guy that really didn't want to, you know, ask out that girl. I was shy as hell. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. But just growing older, I realized that in order for me to be able to want to move forward in anything, I need to reinstill those values within whatever I do. And then one thing that actually helped with that was my scoliosis. I don't know if, you know, people know what that is. That's basically like a curvature of the spine. And mine was to the point where I had to wear a body brace. Literally from here to here, I had to wear a body brace for almost 2 years. I could only take it off for an hour.
This was during your high school years.
This was during high school. So
crucial time of your life.
Yeah, you can imagine how fucked up that was. But it was. Sorry, I'm just very outspoken.
I want to give context because before the show started, Adam's like, "Can I swear?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Go ahead." Yes. I like this. This is great.
I have to. It's just, if it comes out, it comes out.
No, of course, express.
But
express.
That really, you know, wearing that to high school, it's not really the most, you know, let aside popular. It's not really the coolest thing that, you know, to wear and what kids are going to want to see. So they're going to pick on you, and that's what happened. So I had to build self-esteem that way too. Can you imagine people coming and like saying, oh, you know, what's up, broke back, or what's going on, plastic back, or this and that? And it's just like, you have to deal with that shit all the time. But that was a fond memory for almost 2 years, and having to deal with that shit, like it was a lot, you know what I mean? It was a lot to deal with. So that really instilled other values in me too, to not care what people think and just do you. And
if you survive that, you could survive it's many other things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I look back on it now and I just view it as like, there's so many worse things that happen to other people there, and that's just my viewpoint on everything. But at the end of the day, it teaches you, like, you can look stupid, you can look dumb, you can, you know, not feel like yourself 100%, but at the end of the day, who cares? Who are people's opinions, right? That's just the way it is. But that really helped to instill more core values in my life as well. I think I trailed off the question a little bit, but it's
just a little. Just a little bit. I think I'm throwing you. You didn't expect the structure.
No, I didn't.
I still have more of these weird ones.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
But we're gonna cover the who, what, when, where's, and whys. All right. I have a question for you. We're gonna get back to all of that, though, because all of that will lead into how Adam has been shaped. Yeah. This individual in front of me, Adam. Who is Adam, and how did Adam become Adam? That's the who and how of the Who and How Club.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes you an honorary member. You know what I'm saying? Sharing this information and us figuring this out together. I'm learning already about myself just listening to you.
Yeah.
But I want people who don't know you at all to get to know you, to understand why you're here today and why you and I know each other. Why are you alive?
Why am I alive? If you want to go statistic based, you can go like you got lucky, 1 out of a 400 trillion chance that you ended up being brought to this earth. But we're gonna go.
Why do you stay alive? We all have an opportunity to not be here. So why do we remain here? Why are you still here?
Because I believe there's a purpose to your life.
My life?
No, to everybody's life in general. Like
Whose
yours,
life?
mine,
But
everybody
you,
theirs.
I'm asking you.
Me, it's the same context. There's a belief that I have, and I need to basically fulfill it. And then there's the other side of things of whether my belief specifically is that I was put here for a reason, and I need to find out what it is, and I'm on my way to doing that. Like, that's what I personally think. And along the way of trying to figure that out, whether I live from, obviously from when I was born to, I'm 30 now, but to like 31, 32, 40, 80, 70, whatever, you're put on this planet for a reason, and you need to find out why. And when you find out why, you need to basically fulfill that to the best of your ability, because if you don't, I feel like you're not doing yourself any justice.
So you feel like that about yourself? You feel like
Yeah.
you're here. There's a purpose. There's a reason why you're here.
Yeah. And it could be, for myself, I feel like I've found it. There might be more that I discovered down the road.
Yeah.
But I feel like my writing and my fitness is a big part of it, because those things really bring me a lot of joy, and it really drives out my passion, and it really gives me a lot of fulfillment. And even though like it's not like I'm some popular star or anything like that doing those things, but because of the joy it brings me,
yes,
I think it's part of the reason why I'm here on this earth. I think to say like, no, we're just here because we're here is too. It's ignorant in a sense, because like I think people are a lot more special than that. Now what you choose to do with your time, or whether you choose to figure out why you're here, is that's your own fucking problem. You need to do that. But at the end of the day, that's what I firmly believe.
How do you and I know each other?
The gym. For everybody who doesn't know, I actually personal trained this guy for a little bit of time, and I remember this guy. I mean, it's not that we didn't see eye to eye, but like I felt like a little bit of a darker presence within him at first. I'm like, yo, I don't think this fucking guy likes me. But, it's the truth. But as soon as we started training though, honestly, we clicked really well. We have the same viewpoints on a lot of things. We think the same. Our philosophical views are the same. We're both pretty spiritual people, and we just popped off. And then even after, finished training, we still kept in touch. And even for you, though, to see where, you've come from, because, I remember when we would just talk about these things before, we're like, yo, I'm going to write a book, yo, I'm going to do a podcast, this and that. To see where you've come is extraordinary, too. It's quite far. And it just goes to show what you can do when you put your mind to something and you basically focus on turning it into a reality. Like, you first see it in here, and then you put it to action, and you see what can come of it.
Yes.
But that's how I met this fine young man.
I want to. It kind of goes. It goes back to purpose. Like, believe it or not, like a lot of the conversation when I first met you. Yeah. I think one of your purposes, you're really great at this, is kind of putting a battery pack in someone's back. You've put it in my back numerous times, even when we were. When we were training and when we were not, whether we were just hanging out, chilling at the gym, running into each other, your birthday, my birthday, whenever, any conversation we had, it's always of inspiration or motivation, that push, like an idea will be brought to the table and we would share it from both ends, and we would be like, yeah, bro, do it. Just do it. Like, you know what I mean? And very inquisitive, like how are you going to do that? Yeah. And then we would make the other person think about that, and like we would assess and just share ideas and stuff, like, yeah, you should do that. So I think that's one of your purposes. You're really good at that.
But I can say the same for you though, but it goes both ways. But I just even want to point out, like, when I think we were both on the same wavelength, so to speak. Like, it's like, I look at it like this. You'd woken up to, I don't want to, it sounds cheesy, but like it's the only word that comes to mind, like kind of like a higher state to knowing that you want to do more with yourself. I was along the same lines of that at the time too. So I think that's another big reason why we connected so well.
Yes.
And then on top of that, like you said, I was going back and forth, pushing each other, basically calling each other out on the ideas. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? How's it going? Whatever.
There was a lot of that.
There was, and because we were just being honest and truthful with each other, because you wouldn't want anything less, especially when you're trying to, create something. You want to be honest, and you don't want any bullshit. And I think that's what really made us click very well after that too. It was being originally on the same wavelength, and then basically like pretty much empowering each other after that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was amazing to see, like, in retrospect, every conversation we ever had has brought us to this moment right now, sitting in front of each other. And I think that's important for the people to know. I'm very selective. A little bit about me. I'm very selective of who. I don't have many male friends to begin with. So when I do connect with a male, I think there's a deeper meaning behind that. I don't just have 100 male guy friends the way some other guys do, or like, my bros, I don't
like a big group and shit.
No, none of that. It's my energy, especially when it comes to males. I can only have select. You have to have a certain mentality to be around me, a certain talk. A certain energy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I can't just fuck off with any dude and like, that guy, like, we
chill.
go drink. Just, that's not my style. There has to be some sort of substance, some sort of exchange, energy exchange. And hopefully we can inspire each other to make each other better and stuff like that. Because you and I would also talk about relationships and stuff like
everything,
that.
Everything.
So I think just giving the people some context on why we're here today, why you're sitting in front of me, aside from what you've created, you are now a creator.
That's a nice little ring to it.
You are now an author. Aside from being a personal trainer and all of that, you're an author. So before we get into the book itself and what you've created and all of that, what does being, I'm going to call you a creator because this is how I see you. You could tell me how you view yourself, but I look at you now as a creator. And when we used to talk and train and all of that stuff, like at the gym, I also referred to what you did as art. I looked at your training and your skills and the things you taught me, art. So what does being a creator mean to you now in this sense?
And it's funny you say creator because that's exactly how I view it. And even in that, I know we'll go back to that in a bit, but even that mindset kind of instilled on my novel as well. But just being a creator it's about it's, to me, whether it's like fitness, writing, just everyday things that I'm doing, it's about inventing and creating things in front of you and just being able to build something from nothing, right? And be able to piece something together that wasn't there before. It's literally about bringing something to life that
you thought of.
You thought of out of nothing, right? And even like with going back to the training, like, so even when I train now, I always have a system on what I do every day, but I always love thinking of new exercises. I know a decently mediocre amount of anatomy, so that really helps a lot when it comes to training, but even just trying new exercises, putting things to the test, creating or combining movements, creating something different is really fun to me. And it's I think a really big part of human nature, because humans in general, I think, are curious people. If you want to be, I know I am. So
I'm very curious.
Yeah, it's just that's part of I think part of a human enigma to a certain degree of it's there, but you can't totally explain it. But it's just something you have to accept, because building things from scratch and watching them come to life is to me, it's amazing. Like, from my own personal experience, that's what a creator really really is.
You mentioned following a system when training and stuff like that. What kind of system did you follow when creating, these works of art?
So that's more of a personal thing for me. So every day I have a system that I follow with training. Like, I'll do a certain body part and then I'll do a certain amount of exercises, but I always leave a small percentage of, it's kind of like think outside the box type of thing, of just doing something, trying it out and feeling the effects of it.
Yes.
So I always basically implore that. But other than that, there's always a system that basically I keep in order. So, because at the end of the day, I'm a very structured person. I like to be structured. I like to have things in order. I like to get things done. But when I'm in the process of doing them, and when I'm in the process of working on these things, I like to be creative at the same time, and I like to leave room to create and build things from anew. So that's pretty much what I would do. But I would look at, from my own standpoint, it's like if I was training you still, or I was showing you something, or anybody.
Yes.
To me, that's like, it's not even just like showing them or educating them. I'm creating a bond. I'm creating something like a bridge for them that they never had before, of a possibility of them moving forward and learning something new, and basically seeing it from a different standpoint of just working out. It's not even just working out. It's basically structuring your body to what you want to look like. You're creating your image, right?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't view it that way. And I always try and push it on people and say, you're trying to create a certain image in your mind and basically chisel it down to your physical self.
It's art. It's creating.
It is.
It's creating.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
Or recreating. I feel like our bodies.
Or that.
Yeah, I feel like our bodies. I've had this conversation even with Tina, like how, especially for us where we come, like, I feel like our bodies used to be very fit. Like, I'm talking about like back in the day before working out ever existed. Like,
You're talking about years ago, though.
I'm talking about, when we ruled this earth.
Yeah.
Our bodies were already, were that of God's, you know what I mean? And now in this modern time, we work so hard to try to get it a certain way. But I think it's already there. We just have to uncover it. Like, it's just like you said, this image in our mind that we're trying to bring to life. Like, that's how I look at the podcast. That's how I look at everything that I've ever, but I do feel like even before I was born, this was what I was meant to do. Like, this is before me. Like, my idea was already here. It I just got to the point where it's time for it to come out. Like, I think this podcast thing was always meant to happen, like before I even thought of it. It was there in my brain. I just didn't uncover it. I haven't reached that point in my life where it's time to do this now.
So it's kind of like it was like a chosen thing for you already.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the opposite of that. I'm all about discovery and finding things, trying things. I don't think there was a set path. I think that we were put on this earth. We like I said, we have a gift, but we need to find out what that gift is and how it resonates with us. And it could be multiple things, right?
But I think you have to want to find that gift, though. I think we all have gifts, but a lot of us don't even care to explore that. Yeah. So I get your point as well. But I think no matter what, it's there. It's just up to us to kind of want to bring that out. Yeah. Like, I remember being a kid and I just wanted to dance. I just wanted to express myself. You know what I mean? I think that was in me from birth, but I might have had to go through some things in order for those things to spark, or like, go through like some sort of heartbreak or something and be like, you know what, I need to write about this because I don't have anybody to talk to about this. So let me write. Yeah. Like there are certain moments in your life that will
trigger it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that kind of spawn it for you and get it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with some things, the path is laid out for us already, but then I think there is room. I think the universe does give us room to explore new things. I think it's both twofold,
I agree, but on a smaller point, I'm more on the other side of things, of nothing really being laid out for you and destined for you, more along the lines of you trying out different things and figuring it out what it is. And it could be like a various amount of things, but regardless of what that is, there's something there for you and you need to discover it and you need to make it happen, because again, that's why you're here. But I think it's like, to a small portion, I agree with you, because it's just like you're saying, it's just like there's something there that we just don't know what it is. But and that's the whole purpose of trying different things. Like I've done dental hygienist. I did athletic therapy. I was in heating and air. I went into electrician. I was going to become a cop. I did the beginning stages for a firefighter. So I tried a lot of different shit, right? And my point is that until I found something that resonated with me, I didn't know my direction. I felt lost, right? And the funny thing is is that I kind of knew fitness was part of that, but for the longest time I didn't want to answer that call, if that makes sense. I was like scared to do it. I didn't want to go and like try it out because I was scared I was going to fail. Like that was my old mentality. I was like, no, don't do it. You're going to look stupid or you're going to fail. Like, don't even bother. People are going to laugh at you. How are you going to memorize anatomy? Why are you going to go to college for and take health athletic or fundamentals of fitness leadership? Sorry, because like you're not going to pass. Like, just my old school mentality of not trying to study and work towards something was playing in. And until I basically pushed forward on that, I wouldn't have discovered what that was. So I think another issue is people not wanting to just follow through and tackle those adversities and using them to basically push
facing
themselves.
the fears. Yeah. But do you feel like that fits in the discovery category, or do you feel like you were meant to go on that path to try things that never resonated with you in order to get to